what if that you were the one to save humanity's hope, to save the world, save all the creatures that were basically created, basically in the world, basically everything that exists in time would. Basically, you have the sky, the clouds, humans, the animals, the bugs, and all different kinds of things that basically exist in the world, basically of this. Basically, this episode of No Game No Life, episode 7. I want to say here is basically that I think the MC is basically right based on what he said and stuff like that, and he wants to rewrite all of that because of what he basically actually said. I think it is correct because what he said. And one thing that he said was that we humans are the cause of war and destruction and other different things, and greed and money and power and all that other stuff. But if you go back to the Bible, which I know a lot of people probably don't believe in the Bible or probably don't believe in God or anything like that, I'm not going to go into basically all of that. But if you go back into the Bible of the book of Genesis, the first verse was ever written what God really actually did, and also putting Adam and Eve into the beginning of the birth of sin, because God told them not to do that, not to go near that tree. Do not touch that tree, because that tree would just hold all the knowledge of just have that. Because if Adam and Eve were to avoid from that, would basically avoid it, then everything would have been okay. Everything would have been good, but it just led them to our own selfishness, our own greed, our own power, our own arrogance, our own pride, everything, etc., etc. Just it's just and that's what it basically feels. Basically, what it feels to me. I one person wants to hear. One of the most dangerous things I really want to say here is basically in the world that I see right now is nothing but power, money, and greed, and politics, and basically so on. I mean, people. I mean, being president of the United States is kind of like you're like the ruler basically of the world, basically of the world, that you're trying to bring the world to world peace and stuff like that, and basically stuff like that. Because a lot of people may think that's not really basically be possible for a president to do stuff like that, and to do stuff like that. But I think this episode really does define about what we do and basically the stuff. Because I want to also want to say here is basically that. What about the animals? What about them? Would sin carry on to the animals? That's a good question to ask. We really don't even know, because animals have to preserve and to mate and to bring forth their children basically into the world and basically stuff like that. Because if they cannot survive, if they were not to able to do these things, then they have to survive no matter what. Survival is basically very important. Some people may think life is a game. To be honest with you, I'm 43 years old. 43. I play a lot of mini games back in the day, so yeah, and I really have. Some of the games I accomplished, some of the games I did. But do I look at life as a game? Some people may say life can be a game. Sometimes it can be. That's why I kind of like the factor of no game, no life. It's basically like you don't have no games or anything like that, and then you have no life or any basic up there. But it's a lot more common than difference than for what you see basically as you do. It's kind of like a game of chess. A game of chess is basically like you're trying to make the right move, like what you want to do, to order to make checkmate. That's kind of like also from the anime of Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny, where you see Chairman Durando. He's so obsessed with chess, and because he's so obsessed with it, and he kind of looks at the figures that on the playing board. Because the reason why he's looking basically at basically those, because he wants to conquer and he wants to do whatever that he wants. He wants to be in control. He don't want nobody else to be in control because he just wants to rewrite all over the things that is already been gone and stuff like that. But what if he would have done it all over on his own? What if he would just basically just go into a mobile suit and just destroy Kira Yamato and some of the others also too? Could he have basically done it? Yeah, he basically could have done that. He basically could have done that. And I just don't see how Chairman Durando just basically just become so high and mighty because the way that he is, because even though Kira and some of the others, they had to stop the man because what he was doing. Putting genes together, making a new formula of a new species of a race that we have not even seen in years and stuff like that. And I think that's too much, which I think that is, which basically Shin has said, and I definitely do agree with Shin. That's too much, even though Ray agrees and says, yeah, I agree with you, basically stuff like that. I can go on forever and just talk about the philosophies and stuff like that when it comes from the Bible, anime, movies, history, war, all this other stuff. It all adds together, and it really does. It really does. People are given a choice to whether they want to believe or they really don't want to believe. That's kind of like say, like, do you believe in the Easter Bunny? To be honest with me, I don't believe in the Easter Bunny. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. That's just the old thing that what people will probably say. Do I believe in Santa Claus? Yes, I believe in Santa Claus. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that for whatsoever at all. Do I believe in the Tooth Fairy? When I was a kid, yes, I believed in the Tooth Fairy. Do I believe in God? Yes, I do believe in God. But what about you? What about you? That's what I'm saying, because like that's what I'm saying. That's what it basically feels to me. But even though basically as for a character like in a game of Sims, that is you basically in that game, okay? And you have to survive. That is your job. That is your job. And you have to take care of yourself. You have to brush your teeth, take a shower, eat food, go to work, get married, or have kids, or etc. Then you die, and then your children takes on the place also too, and basically also too. It's basically I don't look at life as basically as a game that what we're playing. Some people may think that. I really don't think that. I really don't, because it's not just basically like when it comes like the World of Warcraft. Just basically what we're trying to do different things and this is stuff. Trying to survive and try to the conquer of different things that what we do basically in the game also too. And we're just making these moves in our lives to avoid ourselves from these dangerous things that can come at us. It can come at me. It can come at you. You just don't know if you're going to live or you are going to die. That's really basically deciding of the factor. It's kind of like the deciding of the factor, like what some people will say is say like take as for instance basically as for the lotto. The lotto is a good example. Basically, if you see the numbers what they basically draw like 266 or 97 or 100 or so on. And you see those numbers being drawn, I bet you those numbers are basically representative basically of the age that you really are. That's kind of like what God based on himself, based on God himself. It's kind of like God is kind of like put his hand in the bowl, and he picks up and he sees the number, and guess what? Bam, just like that person died of that age, and then so on. I mean, people do die. I guess like every single day. I mean, maybe I don't know that or anything like that. There could be a kid probably in a hospital, probably trying to survive of cancer. I don't mean to be weird, but I'm just saying, trying to survive cancer. Even though the parents is trying to save their child, that's what the place is trying to do, trying to save their dog or their cat or whatever the baby maybe is and stuff like that. And think about all the rest of the supplies and stuff like that we have around Earth, that we have like basically from other different things that we have that we can eat, we can have. And basically stuff. But what if there's basically some other things that we're not supposed to have? Like some things that we're just like forbidden to have, that we can't have those things. That we can't have those things. Some people will probably get lost about because what I'm trying to say is skipping on to other different things. But it's a connection of what you do and what can you do, and what do you need that you really want, and basic stuff. If I were to base a argument of myself, let's say God let's say God took me into back of time and learn about some of the things that they used to do back then. I would basically probably be pretty bored, because you know why? For one, they don't have soda back then. They don't have soda back then. Two, they don't have computers back then. Three, cell phones. How I'm supposed to call somebody, because I won't be able to call somebody, and basically books and stuff like that. Other different things, because I'm assuming they have their own difference of communicating and stuff like that. I think that's what I think and stuff like that. Especially like with mail. Like mail is basically you take mail and you deliver it to the people that's basically they actually definitely do need, and basically stuff like that. Because mail is very important. It's very important, like what you have and what you really need, that you basically that you need and stuff like that. I think the point I really am trying to say here is basically it's really just basically really decides like how you play your game in life. You know, that's where I think that basically is game and life. It's game and life. Like the game of life. The game of life is a very good example of basically what you do and stuff like that. And when you see the game of life, when you're playing it, it makes you really understand. It makes you really understand what you really actually you are doing, what you really actually are doing. And when you land in all those spaces, it's kind of like you're taking your first baby steps, like as a baby, like you're taking the first steps at life, and accomplish those things. That's kind of like a achievement or something like that. So that you achieve it based on this. I have not achieved it based on other different things in life and stuff like that. I have achieved graduating from school, getting a job, getting a job. I can't drive because of my disability, because I can't really understand really how to drive, because I get kind of very confused, because I really don't. But I think the point I'm trying to say here is basically that I definitely do agree with the MC, basically what he's saying, and basically rewriting history and stuff like that. That humans are basically cruel and heartless people and stuff like that. And I definitely do agree with him. Basically, he says, because we are the problem that are creating these things and stuff like that. Like I said before, if you go back then from wars and stuff like that, it's sad, it's terrifying. I seen a picture of a boy, or I think it was a boy or a little girl, I can't remember, or anything like that. You know, they're just like sitting there crying, and to see all the destruction like all around them, it's sad. It's very, very sad. It's really is. It's very extremely sad. It's just like down in Africa, if you looked at, as for example, they've been living probably genocides for centuries or so. I really don't know. They probably have not gotten no water, no food, or anything like that. They have like these diseases, or basically that destroying the kids, making them skinny and stuff like that, and they don't have nothing. They have nothing. They have no food or nothing or anything like that. So I mean, really, I don't think that there is basically a person around the world can really erase all of those memories, or erase everything that basically was happening. I think it's impossible. I think Jesus probably could have done that. He could, but I mean, I don't know if he really basically would. So that's what it basically feels to me, and you know, and stuff like that, because you know that's just my opinion, and you know that's just what I definitely do think. I just you know, I mean, like just like God for pretty much himself, he could stop all those things from happening. Could he basically have? He could have just basically intervened and done that. But people will probably say, as Christians, for us, it's not his fault because he didn't stop those things and stuff like that. So I mean that's what it basically feels to me, and I definitely do understand what the MC was saying basically in this anime of No Game No Life, because I understand the meaning of basically what he's doing, and basically like what he says, and basically that he's on a conquest to become the greatest king in the world, to be more powerful than anyone basically out there, or basically be the next god or something like that. I mean, that's what I think. So, but yeah, anyways, that's it for this ramble on discussion of your philosophy or history or whatever you want to call it, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just I'll see you guys later. Take care. Hope you guys will take. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the like button, give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down, and please leave a comment below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. Hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless. Remember to slow. I love you guys. Please stay safe and remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.